Welcome to the JC Pod. I'm your host, Jaden Chandler Parnell. JC, or that boy JCP. Gonna start this off with some disclaimers. First one, still kind of sick. I don't sound nearly as bad now, but my nose and throat, I sound a lot worse than I feel. I actually feel a lot better, but my nose and throat are still going through it a little bit, so we battling. And then something else to touch on. We're gonna go over the madness today, basically, and then maybe some other sports. It's MLB opening day. I might just look at lines and just tell you how I'm feeling, but I'm not a big baseball guy, so we'll have to see. But first, disclaimers when it comes to there's two sad events I want to talk about real quick. Just I have two part of one of them for sure. The second one's personally more on my side, but that Nashville shooting, I didn't touch on it Tuesday, and that was, I think, either the day after it happened or the morning where a lot of the information came out. Just an awful situation. I'm not gonna spend all day talking about it because I think it's pretty straightforward to realize that shooting up a school of children is not okay. I'm just sad, really sad of it, and hopefully some good change comes out of it because it's just awful the amount of times this keeps happening. Kids shouldn't have to. It's just crazy. My sister's in middle school right now. She's in 8th grade. It's just crazy to think that 3 or 4 years ago she would have been in elementary school and she could have been. Obviously, nothing's happened in this area. Knock on wood. But I mean, just like. You just think about stuff like that, man. It's just terrible. That whole situation's awful. And hopefully we actually get some change from this because this shouldn't keep happening. And then the second one, after 11 long years, we were putting my oldest dog down that I've had since I was a kid. I've had her, like I said, 11 years. She's basically been with me as long as I live. I texted one of my friends about it the other day. I texted one of my friends the other day who, pretty close to me. He's been around since kindergarten, basically. And he told me, like, yeah, I don't think I've been to your house, it feels like, without seeing Luna there. So rest in peace to Luna. She's getting put down. By the time this video's out, she'll already be put down. By the time we're recording, it's about like an hour away or so. Already said goodbyes and anything. It's just, man, being a pet owner, sometimes this shit happens. I just had to deal with it with my ferret about a month or two ago. Now it's just my childhood dog. Shit sucks, no lie. So yeah, that's just kind of been weighing on me a little bit. But I mean, it's Thursday. So you know what it is. I just wanted to get that out of the way. That's been some stuff that I've had on my chest that I just wanted to get out there. So putting positive vibes out in the universe, obviously, just because of everything that's been happening. Like I said, for the national situation, hope we can actually get some change to that. And then, man, just sucks to lose a pet, man. Especially all pet owners, I'm sure you know. But hey, that's enough of that. Sorry to bring down the mood real quick on this Thursday. Those are just two things I felt like I needed to talk about, especially the Nashville one. I just can't brush over that as a human. Just not cool. And then, I just wanted to talk about my dog because that's a personal thing to me, and that's something I feel like should be shared with the show. But anyway, moving on. So we are going to be talking about... we're just going to be talking about the madness. It is the Final Four championship weekend. So basically... It is MLB opening day, though, so I will, at the very end of the show, briefly touch on stuff for those baseball fans. But I think I've mentioned it before. I mentioned it again for the new viewers who don't know. So I would say if you list out my tier of sports, it would go... Sorry, I just want to say... it would go NFL football, and then I don't know. I got really heavy into watching college football this year, so I would say, like, maybe it's right there. But I'd say college football, college basketball are, like, 2A, 2B. I definitely, like, pay attention to those two the most. And then it would be NBA, and then MLB. And then NHL, and then MLS, but NHL, MLS, like, it's going to take a miracle to catch me watching those, no offense, I just don't understand the sports. When it comes to soccer, I still kind of struggle with the rules. I've had exes before who played soccer, and I even went to one of their games, and I'm sitting there like, what the hell is going on? Like, soccer to me kind of gets confusing. NHL is the same way. Some of the rules are hard to figure out, but I definitely think NHL is more of a fun watch than soccer, but that's not why we're here. I keep getting sidetracked today. We're going to talk about the March Madness Final Four championship game this Sunday. We got San Diego State versus Florida Atlantic. San Diego State still 1.5 point favorites over Florida Atlantic, and then we got UConn taking on... Sorry, I don't know why I just took UConn taking on Miami. So if you remember from Tuesday, Miami is plus 190 on the money line. Now they're plus 202. The spreads are -1 and plus 5.5 and minus 5.5. They're down to minus 110. So if you're gonna hop on Miami, I would potentially get them now because it seems like a lot more people are starting to get on UConn. So potentially, I think or vice versa, or they get on Miami. So I think the Miami number is going to drop regardless. I think it's going to get down to like 4 or 3 potentially. So if you like it, I'd get on it now. Money line's plus 202 now. Over is 150. I don't know. There's some Final Four specials for teams to score the most points. I'd probably be most willing to take Florida Atlantic for the odds at plus 850 because they have a high-powered offense, but they'd be playing San Diego State, so you'd have to hope they'd score a decent amount on them, and then assuming UConn moves on, that it'd score a lot on UConn, but we'll see. And then there's some like John L. Davis, Elijah Martin to score for 30 points, like Isaiah Miller. So there's a lot of specials that I'd recommend looking at because I don't know. I'm not gonna probably dive into the specials. I don't know the players too much like that. So I'm probably going to avoid it a little bit. But when it comes to I'm probably going to take Florida Atlantic. I think San Diego State's probably going to win. I've rode them decently. I faded them a little bit last game because I thought Creighton would be able to handle them a little bit more, and they did up until the second half where they decided to quit hitting threes. And then when it comes to, by the way, my bad for sounding awful. I feel like I sound awful right now. Miami, like I said, they're plus 5.5. I'm probably going to sprinkle their money line just because I have the UConn championship ticket, but I'm definitely sitting here and waiting for you to get UConn at like 3.5. Anything lower than 5. 5's just a little too much. If I can get them at anything 3.5 or lower, I think that's perfect. I know it sounds like 1 or 2 points sounds ridiculous, but it really does matter. I feel like, man, the sickness, boy. No, I'm like not sick. I just have that like weird sensation of right before you're sick. Like I started getting sick, and I had that weird sensation before I was getting sick, and I just kind of like stuffed myself with like vitamin C and other stuff, so I'm trying to avoid it. I think I'm really close, but man. And then also, sorry too if you hear the birds in the background for this episode. My room's like 900 degrees this morning for Lord knows why, and I'm dying. Like I'm going through it this morning. We battling for real. No, it's just really hot in here, so if you hear birds in the background, that's why I literally have to keep my window open, or you would think I'd be working out. And then, you hear me? I'm out of breath, man. I'm out of breath, and I'm just breathing, bro. Like, damn, like, come on, body. Body's giving out on me on the weekend. No, but yeah, basically that's where I'm feeling for NCAA. I think it's going to be Florida Atlantic and UConn winning it all. I really hope so, at least I think that'd be a little bit more of a fun offensive show. I have nothing against San Diego State, but if they go to the championship game, it's going to be like a 50 point championship game. I hate to say it, but I might put, if it got to that point, I almost would put like $2-3 on every correct score that's in the 50s for UConn and San Diego State. Like I hate to say it, but there's a good chance that I'm wasting like $20-30 at literally like 51, like anything like I'd say from like 53 on. So like 53, 54, 54, 55, 55, 56 for both sides. Like very tempting. Like it's very tempting if the national championship game comes down to that. If San Diego State, I mean, I'm probably gonna do a correct score for the Saturday game somewhere in the 50s. I'll just give you I'll give you a rough guess now, without even looking, without even really doing any research or thinking, just solely based on their last schedule. They have won 57-56. They beat Alabama 71-64. They beat Furman 75-52. And then, yeah, so the way I'm thinking about it, probably going to take somewhere in the higher 50s if I do, but like maybe like 59, 58, or maybe like 61, like something like that. Especially if they play UConn, but I don't know. I mean, for Florida Atlantic, I'll probably do... I meant for Florida Atlantic, not UConn. For Florida Atlantic, I'll probably do that around like the 61, 62 mark, but I don't know, man. Like, that's a tough one. I'm really stuck. I think UConn's going to win the other game, and I really have a lot of... I feel a lot better about that second game with UConn than I do this first game. This first game is the definition of a toss-up game. It'd be awesome to see either of these programs move on. Awesome story that came out about Dusty May, that the FAU coach, yeah. If you go to, usually I don't do free shout-outs, but this is a really cool story. Matt Norlander from the CBS Sports Podcast, he posted an article about it, and then he also talked a little bit about on a podcast he's on that just kind of explained the Dusty May story. Just very interesting. Basically, briefly sum it up, he went to FAU, signed a deal, then sold the facility. He's like, man, I got to get out of here, like broke down, basically, just like, I don't know why I chose this job. I left a really good assistant job for this, and then his assistant basically did the same thing because FAU's was so like dumpy basically because apparently like campus they showed pictures like, oh, this is what we look like, then you go there, it's like, oh, it's not like this at all. it was one of those situations. So he thought about like, man, I'm gonna have to like find a way to get out of this or this and that. His wife told him to stay, and now look, they're in the Final Four. Stories like that are always awesome to hear. So I recommend like if you want to and you're very interested in the story, look at it. It's a very, very, very cool story. But yeah, due to the sickness and all the other stuff going on today, shorter bit episode today. I usually want to shoot for about 30, but they've been a little bit shorter this offseason covering the other sports. Hopefully with NFL, maybe I can stretch it back to 30 because I'll have a little bit more to talk about, but we'll see. They've just been a lot shorter recently. No specific reason why. It just ends up how it keeps happening. And then for today, there is a reason. I'm not feeling the best, and then some of the stuff I touched on before, so we might be a little bit all over the place. It's not intentional. It's just between everything that's going on and then me not feeling the best, my mind is in a million places at once. So going through Yankees 1.5 point favorites over Giants. I'm going to touch on National Day or MLB opening day. Jesus. I'm just basically going to touch on it, tell you all the games and everything, the stuff I'm interested in, but. Yeah, Braves are taking out Nationals at 1 point favorites. The Orioles are 1 point dogs. The Red Sox are kind of like that one. Brewers 1 point favorites over the Cubs. I kind of like that. Don't know if I'm going to even take that. Because like I said, I am by no means a baseball expert. The Rangers are favored over the Phillies. Rays are favored over Tigers. Pirates, dogs to the Reds. Twins are favorites to Royals. Cardinals are dogs. Actually, that game, Cardinals and Blue Jays are about even, basically. It's minus 106, minus 110. Matt Scherzer and the Mets are just slightly favored over the Marlins, which I kind of like. Dylan Cease and the Sox are dogs to the Astros. Rockies are playing the Padres. They're dogs to the Padres. Angels are favorites against the Athletics. Dodgers are favorites against the D-backs. And then the Mariners are favorites against the Guardians. So that's basically what's to go through opening day. Like I said, I'm probably not going to give out too much baseball bets just because I'm not going to give out bets on a sport that I don't even know what the hell I'm going to do when it comes down to it. Probably after the show, I might go through a few lines and just see what I like or anything. But like I said, baseball, when it comes to like betting and watching, baseball is by far my most quote-unquote hobbyist sport. When it comes to like football, college basketball, that stuff, I would say I'm like a very true fan. Like I can invest and be able to like just say, oh yeah, this. Baseball, there's way too many players for me, honestly. And it's not that I'm like not invested in it. It's just like, man, there's just so much to watch and there's so much to understand that it's like just like a side hobby to me. Like I occasionally just like to watch from afar and just be like, okay, this team's doing this doing this. Just like very general views. I do not know much about baseball, so yeah, I hate to say it, but like we'll talk baseball a little bit on this show, but I don't know how much it's going to be just because I don't know too much about it. I have a guest who's a little bit better than me at it, so maybe when he's on, I might do like once every 2 or 3 weeks or so, have him check in with us. Maybe once a week, have us check in, maybe tell us what's going on in the baseball world and everything. That's my plan for that because, I don't have like the biggest baseball brain in the world. But yeah, basically to end the show too, I was basically talking about the outcome, or not the outcome. I can't even speak today. I'm going to talk about the plan for the rest of the week. My goal, I think, is for this week. By the way, before I get to there, I'm sorry for the chaotic episode. Kind of bounced around all over the place. Started off with a kind of sad note, which really sucks. I didn't want to have to do that, but that was something that I feel like needed to be done. But after that, yeah, we got to talk over a little bit of college basketball. That was the main thing. Kind of gave where I'm feeling. I'm truly stuck on that first game. Second game, I kind of have an idea. I feel like I've talked about it so much throughout this tournament now that you kind of have a feeling of who I like and who I'm on. But yeah, so FAU UConn, I think that's going to be a national championship game. That'd be really cool to watch, but we'll see if it gets down to that. And then, yeah, basically my plans I talked a little bit of baseball. It was there. We talked about it. I don't know how much I gave out, but we at least talked about it so you could have an idea what's going on. But yeah, for the rest of I don't want to say the rest of the summer, but like the next, so like for April going into May, I think May, June, July. I'm thinking maybe June, July is when I'm going to do my breakdowns of my divisions. So I'm going to probably save that for those 2 months. So April, May is just going to be a lot of, when it comes to NFL talk, just a lot of like stories and stuff like that. So for example, I'll tease this because this is something I was going to do. Well, it's a make or break year for Dak Prescott. Like that's going to be coming up here in a few weeks where I'm literally going to dedicate a whole video to basically like 2 stories I'll talk about. Like for example, is this make or break year for Dak Prescott, and I still have more time. I feel like I want to express something else. I might talk about how Lamar Jackson's a Colt and how he's for sure going to sign with him, stuff like that. So that's going to probably be what these Thursday shows are for the next few months, especially because like the Monday show is just going to be news about the NFL, what's going on with that, and then I'll potentially touch on a little bit of baseball, but it's probably going to be now that like college basketball is over and all this stuff over, and it's basically just NBA, just NFL. Uh, and just MLB. Like I'm probably just gonna mainly stick to NFL. I debated touching on NBA a little bit. I did it some last year, and I just thought about it. And it's like, man, I don't know what like. I'm not gonna be able to explain this in a decent way, so I'm just probably not gonna talk about it too much. I'll probably like talk about it, but I'm not gonna go into like details or stuff like that. I might just give like brief overviews of stuff I see, just because. Yeah, I haven't watched the NBA much this season, and I hate to say it, but my betting when it comes to NBA has not been the best. I just don't know if it's bad luck or it's just I just can't bet the NBA right. For whatever reason this year, the NBA has just not been. I haven't been able to figure it out too much, so I don't want to talk about a sport that I've been completely lost in. I will talk about playoffs though, obviously, and just talk about a little bit what's going on, maybe. But I don't know how too much I'm going to talk about it. So yeah, basically it's going to be a lot of NFL offseason BS these next 2 weeks. Along with hopefully we get some more signings and everything. I'll also talk about my views on some teams going into the season and everything. But yeah, after college, so basically, yeah, it just means that I'll be talking about a lot of football stuff, a lot of the football news going on. But thank you everybody for watching. Like I said, it's gonna be probably way shorter than most of my other episodes today. I'm going through the ringer. I don't want to say I forced out an episode, but it's obviously like something I wanted to do, so I want to do this and everything. I just got a lot going on in my life, man. I just need a little weekend off to maybe get better and recharge and everything, and then hopefully come back Monday swinging strong. Been an awesome college basketball season to talk about. Been an awesome off season so far. I just look forward to everything that continues to happen. Thank you everyone for watching again. Sorry for the weirdness of the last week between being sick and then just like the animal news and all that. I've been all over the place, but thank you for sticking along. Shout out to everyone the new people who are coming in. Shout out to the old people who continue to support and everything. Thank you so much for all of it. Big plans upcoming. I can't announce it yet, obviously. I mean, I want to announce it so bad. I have some big news upcoming here soon that's really, really awesome. That's also why some of this has been, like, I might not seem like the most focused or I might not seem like the most into the podcast. I promise you I am. I just have so much going on behind the scenes I'm so excited about that, like, I've been trying to make sure I don't talk about it too much. Just know that big things upcoming for this channel, big things upcoming for me, and just hopefully you'll want to stay tuned. But thank you everyone for watching again, and I will see everybody on Monday next week. NFL news on Monday. Probably talk about the national championship because it'll be over by the Tuesday I get on, and then Thursday we'll figure it out, baby. But yeah, see everybody potentially on Friday. I should be hopping on Captain by Hook with the Red Beard again with my boy, so maybe see everybody on Friday. If not, I will see everybody back on Tuesday.